With all marriages, there's a courtship, there's an engagement time, there's a marriage, there's a honeymoon, there's a little bit of time after, and then things can change in some situations. Hi and welcome. If you're new here, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. What does that all mean? Well, part of this video is just going to lay the groundwork of the engagement portion, I think, maybe up to the honeymoon of Microsoft and IBM, because that will play a part later for me. But at this point, I'm kind of deciding about getting a new computer. My Coleco Atom is just not adequate, and especially not adequate for use in my development of my personal work life, professional work life, I guess is the better way to put that. So I'm taking a look at multiple factors right now. And Microsoft, who really got their major kick when they quickly provided an operating system to IBM called DOS. They purchased the operating system, did a little cleanup on it, and presented it to IBM. So they did not develop that operating system or design the original of the operating system. How's the right word to put it? Because they did develop the operating system. From that point forward, they did a lot of development on it. DOS changed tremendously. But that relationship kind of evolved into a Microsoft do a version, IBM take that version and modify it and use it. So Microsoft doing a lot of the work, sometimes IBM. So they kind of got into this cycle rotation of you do this version, I'll do this version, and then the minor versions would be alternated as well. So a major version, minor versions. And this was working very well for them, and there was a good working relationship taking place during that time. So much so that IBM requested of Microsoft to develop an operating system that could be more stable, more business friendly. An operating system which Microsoft did develop from scratch was called OS2. And it's seeing its release right about now in my timeline. DOS is not quite at the point of just being a general available operating system, widely available. It's primarily coming to people through installation on machines, and it's a lot of times it's Microsoft DOS, but it may be provided by, Tandy or some other hardware vendor. But as I'm looking at things, what I'm seeing is that IBM's PC and the copies of them is becoming kind of popular. And of course, IBM being the major elephant that they were, the biggest guys in the space, being behind this development, well, it's got to go somewhere. So that's a driving factor for me. That's one of the driving factors. This form of computer and compatibles would crush the rest of the space. We saw a lot of people in this space at that time. But the big elephant had produced something that was just starting to grow tremendously. And this is why we saw Microsoft was also at this point in time working on Windows, which kind of started out as really a shell to DOS, but it evolved very quickly in quickly meaning in the time space of operating systems. There was a lot of development that went through with Windows, and it's not quite yet at the point of development that I was looking for, or that I needed, I should say. And at this point in time, Windows is not really a factor for the space that I'm working in, but DOS is starting to become a factor. And this OS2 thing looks to be interesting because of what I was reading about it. So it looked to be like an interesting thing, maybe. So, what's going to happen here? So we'll learn later what happened, and some of you may know, but these are factors that drive my next purchase. I'm shifting to automation, industrial automation to be specific, because automation means a lot of things. But for me, it means taking machinery and automating it, taking tasks that are very intensive with number of components and trying to minimize that while in addition improving the efficiency and the performance to increase production time, to decrease the amount of human intervention into a process. That's automation. So these things are becoming important to me now because this is where I'm shifting my focus. I had been serving the factories. I did that short stint of about a year learning about power analysis for grounding in computer rooms, and so power quality, how to address all of that. I learned a lot of that, and I learned a lot. And that does apply even to today. I can apply that knowledge because not a lot of people have that knowledge. So, and it does apply in this other space. Power quality can become a very big issue for people in manufacturing, especially today, but we're not at today in this timeline. So anyway, these factors are going to drive my next purchase. If you found it interesting, thumbs up, share, comment. I know there's not going to be much of any of that, and thanks for watching.